Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm seeing shades of William and Harry when they were younger. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Already, Prince George is giving the death stare to his little brother, who's making fun of him in public. Wow. Wow. It's begun. It's begun. It's begun already. Of course, Charlotte always steals attention from the gruesome twosome, but they're Gavin gruesome on the West Coast. But I was thinking it was funny. I remembered a few years ago, Prince Harry, lamenting the fact, or lamenting, how we pronounce it. He was complaining as always. And he said something to the effect of, well, me and Meghan only have a few years of all the attention before, the younger ones take over and steal all the attention. So, like, even from the very beginning, like, Harry and Meghan knew their time was going to run out. They were, like, racing against the clock to get as much publicity before, William and Catherine's children grew up and started stealing all the limelight from them. Really ridiculous. I mean, imagine your whole life just obsessing about getting attention in the tabloids. The tabloids, which, by the way, they complain about and sue constantly, but they're always constantly looking for their attention. But it's beginning. It's beginning already. I mean, George and Louis are way more entertaining and worthy of attention, in my opinion, than those two idiots belong in a mental asylum who allegedly live in Montecito. And so I was kind of curious. I was like, I wonder how the crazy aunt and uncle who moved to America are affecting George and Louis. What do they think about their crazy aunt and uncle? What do they think about him? How are they affecting them? I mean, I know, uh, they're all press people talking about them, but from the children's perspective, they don't read the press, they don't pay attention to all that. So I'm just wondering, though, I'm sure they hear about things, and I'm sure they can see from their parents' reaction, their grandfather's reactions, something's up. So I'm just wondering, I'm sure, and I wonder if they have any memories really of them. They were so young when because Harry and Meghan have been gone for over 5 years now, right? Going on 5 years. So that's several lifetimes to a child. They probably don't even remember them, which is probably a good thing, actually. Let's see. I want to take a look today just for fun. Let's see how they may be affected by having this crazy aunt and uncle in California. All right. So let's see. First I'm going to throw an oracle card, a couple oracle cards. I haven't used these in a while. I want to try to bring them back into my readings a little bit more. Let's see. George and Louis. They're more adult, themed cards. So hopefully they'll still work with this reading. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Okay. So first I get my boo, right, which is a very American kind of phrase for, my my lover here. And there's a woman that kind of looks Meganish, clinging on to Harry. That's basically how they looked in Canada recently in the Invictus Games. Yeah. So I think that they think that they're hearing or they're aware of the fact that Harry met this crazy American woman, and you see in this card, the man's face is completely invisible, so they don't see Harry at all. He's like, I think they think that this dominating American woman kind of came in and made their uncle like sort of subservient to her. Because you see in this picture, he's like holding on to her like Harry holds on to Meghan. He's got his, I mean, you can see that, his arm around her, and he's just kissing her on her head. So it's just kind of like he's fawning over her, and she's looking up like in control, controlling him. Oh my, SOS, distress. Act with urgency, assistance needed. Ooh my. So wow. Now this may be one of the first things I think of are the fires in California that Harry and Meghan made a big deal about. Using tragedies in America, intentional destruction. Many believe who were there and that Harry and Meghan were using it as platform to, you know, promote themselves as some kind of leaders, right? Take advantage again and be vampires. So they're aware of, and also I could look at that as they know that Harry and Meghan are like SOS, like they're a disaster. They need help. They are imploding, and perhaps they're being warned. Okay, brace yourselves because you may be hearing about some kind of, when Harry and Meghan left, there were people saying that they don't think Harry's going to come back. You know, at all. Like they thought, like that's like Harry's basically, he's like that's it. Like he's probably gonna. He's so stubborn. Either Meghan could push him to, going too far, unaliving himself, or because he's so stubborn, doesn't want to admit he does anything wrong. I mean, the fact that he's still today trying to say he wants an apology is so ridiculous. He's, it's cray cray. So, yeah, so they're aware that they have a crazy aunt uncle, this crazy American who came from their perspective, and that they're complete mess, they're disaster, and of course they're going to be always looking to create horrors and look for help. They're like, help us, give us this, give us that. We need money, we need security, we need reconciliation, we need an apology, we need, they're always looking for what you can do for them, and they're a disaster basically. And yeah, so they know that they've got this crazy aunt and uncle who are floundering around. Oh, a roll of the dice, taking a chance, risks, leap of faith. Yeah. Yeah, Harry and Meghan are always gambling. It took a big gamble doing what they've done, and they thought they were going to be on top of the world, king and queen of the world. Oh, there we go. Finances, money problems, work, success, fortune. So they know, they're also aware that they're very greedy and graspy and always looking for money and very concerned. That's all Meghan's concerned about is money and power, right? So they're aware that they've got this, crazy, greedy, grasping aunt with that took their uncle away, and he took a chance. He rolled the dice. He said, "All right, I'm going to go with her," and they're just doing everything and selling every secret. You can't tell them anything, or they'll sell it on Oprah Winfrey show. And they're, obviously untrustworthy, and they're with, of course, criminals as well. So yeah, so they're aware that they're just this crazy gambling, addictive. I think of addiction too, like gambling addictions, and just like risk takers, and out of control. Well, yeah, so they're very well aware. I'm getting very they're well aware that they're living dangerously. They're out of control. They need psychological help. They're pretending. They're always, putting on their folie à deux. I mean, which we said from the beginning, they're two crazy, deranged people, and they're just pinging off each other. And alone they're bad enough, but together they're just, like gruesome twosome. So they're aware that they're a dangerous couple, and they're always going to have their hand out looking for money, and causing crises, causing catastrophes, and yeah, they are just a walking disaster, one disaster after another. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like they miss them very much. Sure, they're quite happy without having them around. I'm sure everybody else is. Wow. Yeah. So I don't really think they think too much about them. They are, of course, aware of them. They have to be, right, to a certain extent. And, they may, I don't think they really hear much about them unless what they're told. They may, be aware of certain things they have to be told, I guess, so they're aware. Yeah. So, but it looks like the Harry and Meghan are really fizzling out. They're going down the drain. I mean, Harry's latest temper tantrum on the BBC was just It looks so ridiculous. I mean, he's just ridiculous. They're just so their craziness is just showing more and more. I mean, yeah. So let me see. So how is it gonna go? Let's see. How's it gonna go? For um Prince George and Louis. So right now, I don't think there's any relationship whatsoever. From what I hear, there's no contact. Uh, what they're saying. Oh, that fool. Oh, hangman reverse. Hmm. Yeah. So they're King of Wands. I take that as Harry. King of Wands, destructive. So they're out of touch and have nothing to do. They're in different worlds. They are entirely different worlds, and literally, figuratively. And oh yeah, again, 5 of coins. The idea of Harry and Meghan always with their handouts, always looking for money. Particularly Harry, egged on. Oh, 10 of coins reversed. Wanting the family money. 9 of cups. Wanting whatever they wish for, wanting being arrogance. This can be a card of arrogance. And Harry did come across very arrogantly recently in that interview. That's what everyone's saying. He's just so entitled, so privileged, and acting like just a. I mean, it was so obvious what him and Meghan were doing, right? He didn't get his security, and as people pointed out, so he wanted IPP status, right? But he didn't get it from getting security. So the only other way that him and Meghan could get IPP is if they were brought back as working royals again. So immediately after losing the court case, Harry's on the BBC saying, well, I really want a reconciliation. I don't know much longer my father has to live, and doesn't he want to see his grandchildren? And I was going to get the clip because the part where Harry says, well, doesn't he want to protect his grandchildren or something to that effect? He sounded exactly like Megalodon in the Harry and Meghan documentary when she was saying things, the exact same tone that she took. Like, don't you want to hear it from me? Like that exact same kind. Like Meghan must have coached him. Not only coaching him with what to say, everything, even how he said it. Like, don't you want to protect your family? Everything he was getting it exactly from Meghan. Meghan literally coached him to act like that. You could see it. You could see her coaching in Harry, and she's a horrible actress. So Harry, he's acting like a horrible California, LA actress now. Yeah, it's so funny. But yeah, but also but extremely arrogant as part of their act, and yeah. So I get that. Wow, Harry and Meghan are really, it's particularly Harry. Okay, so the thing about that, Meghan's not even here. So that tells me they don't even think of Meghan. Like Meghan's a non-entity. They're never going to deal with her again. They know she's not coming back. She'll never be allowed back. She's a nobody nothing. So they're only concerned about Harry here, the King of Wands reversed. Him they're going to have to deal with sooner or later, even if it's just burying him. You know what I mean? He's the blood royal. They know they're going to have to deal with him and potentially his children if they are his children. Which but anyways, I don't think George and Louis are so concerned about that. But yeah, they feel like George and Louis know they're way above Harry and Meghan. They're like, we're way up here and Harry's way down there. So yeah, they're just like they know, and they know that Harry is watching them and everything they do and everything they get. And there's been a couple of incidents. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I know there's been more than one incident where George and Louis have done something or gotten something, and Harry like lashed out about it, complaining about it, or did something. Like he's jealous of them. He watches them intensely, and I can't remember what it was. There was something that happened, and maybe it'll come to me later. But Harry is very petty, just like Megalodon. So Meghan, is watching Charlotte like a hawk, and Harry's watching those two boys and everything they do and everything that's in the press. And obviously also possibly because they want to compete. Meghan wants to compete with her children, but she never shows her children, so I don't even know, what's the point. But I do know that they watch every little thing. They're crazy. They're crazy. Yeah, Harry and Meghan, yeah, Harry particularly, they're even if Harry eventually does come back, they know that he's going to be on the outs worse than Andrew, because as bad as Andrew is, he didn't, go on Oprah and share secrets of the family and call the family racist and all this stuff. So, wow, Harry, as far as the royal family is I think concerned. Yeah. Yeah. He's definitely he's not getting any inheritance. I'll tell you what, he's not getting anything back. In fact, many are saying that William's going to take away their titles and everything else. Well, we'll see what happens there. But it does look like he's not, he's could be losing more. And I think that George and Louis is definitely not giving them anything either. Yeah. So, and they're like, yeah, I kind of get that they feel Harry and Meghan are arrogant. Yeah, this would be the Harry and Meghan. They feel like they're arrogant, money grubbing, and they're just looking to get as much as they can from the royal family, and they continue trying to get everything they can. And they're aware of that. So they're aware that they've got this aunt and uncle, Prince Harry and Aunt Meghan Markle, who are just losers here, basically. And very mercenary and greedy, and Harry is the one they're most disgusted with, and the only one they really consider. And I don't think they really have an opinion on Meghan so much, because it's Harry that they really are disgusted with, it looks like. But both of them, of course, but more Harry than anything that they're disgusted with. And I think he's arrogant and foolish. And I see that with everything he does. They're just like, they find him an embarrassment, I think, and a fool, an arrogant fool. Yeah, and a destructive one at that. Yeah, so they're pretty aware of the situation. They have a good grasp of the situation without having to be aware of every gory detail. Look at that crazy uncle. Every family's got one, right? So there you have it. So I hope you enjoyed this. If so, please like and subscribe. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.